Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to a Raz VOD review. I did one just before this. It was the Direwolves versus God. Who did they face? The Red Canids. That was for the Plains in MSI. This is day 4 of MSI, so that you know what, time has definitely traveled. This one I definitely did not watch, so I thought it would be a good idea for the people out there to be able to watch it with me. It's a good review. I'm just gonna be able to see, and of course I chose Flash Rolls versus W. I don't know if I already said that before. W is a team I've definitely grown along with a lot of the players as well, and I thought it'd be a good idea to see how they are doing currently. They're doing very well in the tournament so far. Very well in the context of
Not
SKT
get
being inside of it. And just so people know, of course, Flash Rolls, yeah, they're 3-4. Just before this game happened, I think a few games ago, on this very same day, Flash Rolls were able to take a game of SKT. So when people wanted to dispatch that Korean killer idea, that narrative, I would like to do it as well. I apologize, Flash Wolves. I feel like that's just it's run its course, but no, apparently not. Apparently, while they're looking really bad, they were able to just take a game off of SKT. So I'm just gonna just throw that one away. I don't know how that one happened. But I decided to do this game because, of course, it's WE. I'll see how they're doing. So let's take a look at
destroyed in the
Big Ben.
laning phase. That is the
I'm going to
key.
mute this. Malzahar being taken away from Ben, that's just a champion that they've had to do, or at least most teams have had to deal with when it comes to WE. There was a time within the summer split, no, summer split, spring split, that WE realized that they really needed Ben to have that point of engage. Now, of course there are games where he doesn't, but it is nice for him to do so because he does roam around a lot with Condi, and if Condi's on a Graves, if Condi's on a champion that he really can't have that pick potential with, then they would rather him have it. So you don't have both Ben and Condi on, let's say, so on non-pick, non-engage champions. LeBlanc, Karma, Malzahar. Malzahar makes sense. LeBlanc, Shie's pick. Karma, both Shie and Ben's pick. Graves could be a pick here. Could be a priority because you're seeing Lulu and Karma leave out here. I would think that WE would ban the Graves. Actually, it's the ban towards the Kennen. If I'm Flash Rolls, it's actually interesting. If I'm Flash Rolls, I probably wouldn't go for the Graves. I mean, they already locked in the Ashe, and it's mostly because Lee Sin's up and available. And Condi, it doesn't matter if he's going up against the Grave. He can go toward the Elise. He's been a tried and true Lee Sin player in the past. So holding on to the jungle pick, they're still going to pick it on first base. But just holding on to it for the first few is, yeah, there we go. He picks up the Lee Sin because he prioritizes the playmaking potential. And of course, you're giving 957 the Fizz. Now, it's not a 957 pick because he has been a team fighter. He has been a massive tank player. But then, of course, since the OMG set in semifinals, he showcased that he can play the Fizz. He can play, or at least he's willing to play, um, just the bruisers in the top set of the map. Kled is a new one as well. So with Kled just being up and available, they've decided to go towards the Fizz. It's not a CA pick, so 100% that's going up into the top lane, unless I get surprised, which is why I'm doing the VOD review. Hopefully I get surprised. That's Kha'Zix and Shen. Kha'Zix would have been taken away in the second rotation because of, like, at that point, WE's is going to look to challenge flash rolls in the through bans. So I like that they picked it up here. They're holding up their support and they're holding up their mid laner. So if teams WE's best interest to start banning supports because both Karma and Lulu is just gone. So WE wants to ban Nami perhaps. They want to ban Zyra. That's what I would do. WE has the opportunity to pick their support up as well. So they have the opportunity to ban the first support, which is the Zyra. See if Flash Rolls look to ban support as well. And then they have priority on the first pick on support. So you would expect WE to um, pick up their support and then, of course, last pick their mid laner. Looks like Flash Wolves has decided to go towards the Varus ban. So I think that the WE would go towards, maybe they would want the Nami. I think they would want more shove in the bottom side of the map. So I think their eyes are looking towards what's a good champion that can deal with the Ashe. I know I'm blanking and I want a mage. What am I blanking on? I'm thinking Misfortune, but I wouldn't want Misfortune just like randomly. I want shove. I don't want to trade support. I'm thinking Tom Kench. Even if it is just like it's like whatever, it's just Tom Kench works well for the composition. Since flash rolls are going towards like what seems to be an all-in, they're actually gonna pick their 80 carry first. Very interesting. I would have held on to that. And I said mid lane for some reason. The Galio is already there, so my mind is not there. I would have gone towards the Tom Kench. I think that that's a mistake from WE to not pick it up for themselves. They've definitely had a conversation on that fucking stage about what they would pick into a potential Tom Kench. And it's not necessarily, it's not a Ben pick per se, so maybe this is them saying that we prefer something like a hard engage type style. Because even if you look towards the composition that WE has, the way they start fights are off, of course, Kandi's kicks, and it's also off of taunt flashes or something coming out of Galio. It's not that strong. So WE might look to go a little harder on top of that and pick some engage, maybe a Braum, maybe an Al. I don't want to even say the dirty word of Alistar. Ben has played Alistar when he was in IG, so he's willing to play it. It's just the champion right now is not the best. I would say Braum. Braum is okay. Like, is this you look to the lane and it's you're going to get shoved in the bottom lane? Galio support. Yeah, okay. That's a Galio support and that's a Fizz mid. Whoo! That's what I'm talking about. Let's go. That's the pick ban I'm thinking about. I said 100% that was not a Fizz going into the mid lane, and that's because CA just does not play it. There are a few Fizz players in the league. You have yourselves the rookies, right? You're saying, okay, this guy's gonna play Fizz. He's played it historically, and maybe if I looked at, maybe at some point, I'm so certain that CA has just not played this fucking champ historically. Why is my Alright. Just as I look to my phone so I can look at the history of all this nonsense, I get told on my email that my bomb ass jacket got refunded. Life just isn't good. I'm angry, and the game hasn't even started. That was the sickest jacket I've ever purchased in my life. Well, I just gotta, this is mental stability here. I'm Flash Wolves. I'm not looking too good on the bracket, right? You going in there, of course SKT is ahead of you. WE is ahead of you in the points now. You look to NAEU, debatably looking pretty good. Now you came off of a good game up against SKT. They have to have a mental reset, like I have to have a mental reset after being refunded and losing that bomb ass jacket. Okay, now let's get into the game. I should probably look at it anyways, just for you people out there. Just historically. I mean, since the guy has started playing League of Legends competitively. CA, Games of Legend. Yeah, yeah, go right in on him, man. Just look right at him. Ain't no shame in it. Ain't no. Oh, wait, they're going for a level 1, everybody. Not the strongest level ones. Not the strongest. In fact, might even say significantly weaker than the enemy level 1. But they're going for it. Okay, I'm doing it. Games of Legends. I want to see, cause I just like I don't obviously my mind is not cast back to when this guy started playing competitively. But do not believe this guy has ever played Fizz competitively. It's not a hard champion to play, and he's a mid laner, so obviously, like, even if he hasn't played the champion, I think he can play it. Okay. There has been a Fizz game. No, wait, no, just kidding. That was the game that just happened. That literally just happened. Alright. All. I'm talking about all seasons involved. Every season in the League of Legends. Never played it. Okay. Perfect. Competitively, hasn't happened. That's going with the game. He's going up against an Ari, so of course he knew the matchup. And if you know the Ari matchup, it's not a hard one. You just blast that Ari. Ari's early on in the like early on levels will be able to auto attack, sure, whatever, fine. Push you into turret based off of Q, autos, should control it. That's the worry that Shia currently has, but once he gets to level 4 even, he can start to play a little tricky in the lane to kind of push um, the Ari off, so he has like Corruption Potion. And that's what Corruption Potion should be used for. I think Corruption Potion top lane for a lot of matchups have been bad, right? Um, lately, just because now people are just going towards this raw stats of Doran Shield even. Obviously, this game they're both like none of them use mana, so this game is not a good example. But mid laners like Echo, mid laners like Fizz, use that Corruption Potion. Survive the early portions of the laning phase, and then it's going to be on. He can overtake the matchup after a while, which is why Maple has barrier. It's also going to be a lot of focus on Condi on top side. So Condi's going to be looking to get Xie ahead. Condi's going to be looking to get 957 ahead as he has done throughout the tournament so far. So there's just you know, play potential happening in the top side of the map. Karsa knows it. Karsa's on the Kha'Zix, so if Karsa ever runs into Gandhi in a dark alley, and if they are an even playing field, I mean like both of them have no red buffs, or both of them do have that like red buffs, Kha'Zix is going to be able to take down Lee Sin fairly easily. That's the pick that's been the go-to pick towards the Lee Sin. And you have the Shen taunt available, so the 2v2 top side for the top side with the jungles involved should be in Kha'Zix Shen's favor, just because Shen does deal quite a bit of damage. Uh, the Kled does not, but Kled can survive a little longer, so the focus would be Lee Sin. So these are all theoreticals, but these are theoreticals that both teams have had to run by. So a lot of it is on Condi and if he can get the plays going topside, but Flash Wolves have the tools to combat it. I haven't even talked about mid lane, and I think that's what Condi is going to be going towards earlier on because skirmish potential is definitely in Shie Condi's side of the field. Now, I have not seen barrier being taken at all, so I think even though I ran through Shie's history on whether he's played Fizz or not, I actually should have run through the last time we saw barrier. I don't even know if that stat even exists. But yeah, keeps Ari safe in the lane. Um, I would have rather had like if you ask me what I would have had, I would have had TP, right? Because TP Ari is not that bad. It's actually pretty good. You get the answers of going on side lane, and you should be safe enough to deal with CA as long as you don't get surprised with an ulti coming at your face. Um, and you can combat the fact that he can deal with side lanes. If there's a pressure happening bot side of the map or top side of the map, immediately CA can TP there. Maple will have to make the run over, and so he's slower on the tempo. And I guess more importantly, CA will have back advantage, so or at least the opportunity of back advantage if he wants. So that's the only thing that I'm going to be looking towards right here early on in the laning phase. But there's a Galio and Kog'Maw in this game. That's always fun to see. Um, you always want to see like more Galio play. Galio's interesting. He had to get retuned. It was a bit too strong in the previous patches. He has a way to harass the lane, which is really fun to see because you've already saw it here. I forgot what it was called. I think it's called Winds of Justice. I could be wrong. I could be bullshitting you. You wouldn't even know. But yeah, it's his Q. Does percentage damage too, so you don't want to sit in it. You definitely do not. And so Sword Art and Betty, even though I said that Mystic and Ben, like they are not going to be getting any pressure at all, or shouldn't be from the from Lee Sin, earlier on in this portion of the laning phase, just because of Galio it should be Mystic and Ben pressuring. That being said, Ashe has regained pressure a lot in these lanes simply because of volley, so it should be back and forth, especially once lane is frozen. Whew! Alright, yeah. Like once lane is like sit at Ashe and Tahm Kench's tower that she's able to maneuver around the wave and just throw volley, then of course she has control of the lane and Kog'Maw has to back away. So it's a back and forth. Ashe and Tahm Kench are going to be looking through trades because of course Tahm Kench Tongue, the lick of tongue himself, can really trade those proper fights. She already has to go back? No, no. I think he's baiting a push in. No, he's really going back. He must be getting one Doran's Ring. Okay. So we got I forget what it's called. But it's the one that gives you extra healing and all that shit. I just forget the name of it. Comes back, so he just TPs in. So he's able to catch the wave. He has the option of just keeping the wave here and just getting the extra experience now that Ahri's gonna have to take the long walk. It's actually not that bad. If I'm Ahri, you're happy because Fizz can't like even if he pushes the wave in on the Ahri, she's gonna be able to get to the wave before or while it's crashing because of the amount of work that she put in. So the TP for Xie was just for him to keep up in the lane rather than taking an advantage. There's a zoom in. I wonder what the observer zoomed in on. What am I missing? What happened here? He got the CS. Was it a CS? He missed the CS. Did it zoom in on the CS? Come on, man. This is when you know the observer has had a hand in the future. Knows what's about to happen. He's like, "All right, zoom in on that pimple." Nah, it's like legitimately zoomed in on the man missing a cannon creep. Well, that is actually a fair point because it leads into the fact that Kog'Maw has 10 CS on Ashe. And I don't even think that Ashe is sitting on a wave. She's just legitimately 10 CS down in the matchup, which should not happen. I don't care like how the pressure works towards Kog'Maw. Galio early on in the tank matchup literally should not be that far down or down at all. You should actually just be even in CS. He's just been taking bad trades and not have been hitting them minions. So that's just sad. That's unfortunate. If you guys are asking me what I'm doing right now, I'm just leaning to a comfortable side of this chair. I don't have a gaming chair like you guys have had, so. Wait, where is Warriors being oh, Warlords, okay, Mystic has Warlords. That's fair. That's fine. That's okay. I thought for an instant that Betty had Warlords and I would have raged. I actually would have been pretty sad. So let's look at the across the lanes because it's really slowed down with Betty and Sword Art starting to take control here and pushing in. Yep. CS advantage in Mystic and Ben's court. Mid is even, which is good for CA. And then top lane is actually Shen incredibly ahead. And I would have to assume that it was based off of the fact that TP went through from MMD. So I would go back. You know what? I'm gonna go back because that's pretty important. I'm just gonna have to remember 18 minutes is where I was before. Now, I'm going back just to see why it's so far behind. I do think that Shen does well into Kled early on. Like, Kled gets picked into Shen because Kled can really take over once the levels start to come through and once, Tiamat even goes through and he can provide sustained DPS. It's just that Shen legitimately has sustained DPS in his kit based off of his Q, has the ability to block out the autos off of Kled's W very fairly consistently, right? Um, the issue is that, of course, another point too is that you can actually knock Kled off of Skarl in the Shen matchup. So just to pause it out here because we're not seeing anything. You can knock him off of Skarl. The problem is that Shen cannot continue to fight because if Shen tries to kill Kled when he's off of Skarl, you are far more likely, in fact it is guaranteed for the Kled to regain Skarl rather than Shen look to outright kill Kled because Shen does not do that much much damage at all in the matchup early. and Kled has range when he's off of Skarl to build up courage with his Q. Um, so early on, it's one of those scenarios where Kled, like Shen does well against Kled levels like 1 through 4, or at least that's what we've seen. But Kled, once he starts, like, if he is well off in the matchup, just off of either one bad trade from Shen or just even just keeping even up until a point where he can get like level 5, level 6. Once he just gets items, honestly, he can make this work. But that's not gonna work now. 957. See that? I'm pointing at a screen. You guys don't see me pointing. I'm actually just retarded. Um, so you have to choose your battles early on, and then you can just play brain dead as the matchup goes on. So I'm just seeing. I already basically saw why um, the matchup was turning out poorly. Like now he's essentially getting um, the wave is getting pushed in on him, I believe. But you can just see him like Shen is playing the matchup well and looking to threaten trades. So Clyde is just losing CS. And one thing, like a good point of how to play up against a Clyde if you can trade those, trade well up against him early, is that Kled, if he won't be able to walk up to the wave to auto and CS, he will use his Q to do it. It's a fairly short cooldown for just being able to get CS safely, but it doesn't pass by through champions, it passes through minions, and it doesn't do any damage early on, like really early on in the game. So I can only assume that Shen recognized that and is just actually just blocking the minions that the man wants to take. So anyways, going back to 18 minutes, which we were left off at. There we go. Shea is doing all, well, he was doing okay. What the hell? He was actually even up until this point. The fuck happened? Oh. Alright, I'm gonna have to stop replaying at some point. Anyways, let's just go from here. Let's go from here, everybody. Okay. So he comes back to lane. He doesn't have TP, so he's of course not gonna just TP right to lane then. Kandi has good vision here with his control ward. He's like pinging to go in, and with TP being expended topside, Kandi should feel a little bit more comfortable. He already put in a ward, so he's just trying to get vision of where Kha'Zix looks to rotate if he comes through bot side to mid or mid through bot side. That amount of vision will do a lot of good work. And so one thing that like a lot of people won't have the context on because um, not a lot of people have watched WE throughout Spring Split. There's too many games. It's not even like, not even cheering. There's just way too many games throughout the world currently to watch every team play. WE has been an incredible team in setting up early vision when they have shoving lanes. This one is actually just different because for them to guarantee a shoving lane is almost impossible. Their bottom lane winning out just through like forcing trades was nice, but they can't expect that now going forward because like Ash should be able to shove in reliably if they play this lane correctly. Now we're not going to be able to get the consistent vision because the camera's moving around. Um, but Galio and Mystic should be expecting themselves to get pushed into tower every now and again. And then mid lane is that's just been happening, right? For Fizz, and then top lane, yeah. So every lane is looking to get advantages through trades. That's a situation that WE is not incredibly comfortable in. Has not won, like that's not a strategy that's not a winning strategy for them. Um, ooh, he has flash. He was thinking about it, didn't want to use it. But because of that, now they've traded back in towards Mystic. Now this is, yeah, dive range for Flash Wolves. W recognize it, but that's too late, right? That's just, yeah, they're dead. Now immediate response for your WE is to go topside and look to push tower. Because that dragon is down, that turret is down. Ho, ho, ho! I'm actually just, alright, I'm a monkey. What happened? Why did that turn out so poorly? MMD. Look at this guy. I'm a tank. Look at him. You know what? Good dive, guys. Sweet. I'm a tank. The wave. I was like looking closer at the screen. The wave, guys, look at me. Right. The wave is not near the turret yet. Okay, that's number one. Betty is low. Karsa is low. Maple is low enough that he doesn't want to tank tower. MMD is clearly not looking at the wave because he can definitely tank two more tower shots. This one and another one, right? But he gets out of tower range and that happens. That catastrophe. And so they just weren't paying attention to the waves coming through. And maybe if Sword Art was Sword Art probably could have swallowed him. I think Sword Art already used his shit, right? Anyways, I'm not gonna blame anyone. That's just like a them not seeing the play. Um, so because of that, they actually have to walk away. They don't have a, like they're not comfortable going up against GA when GA is theoretically like defending the tower. So they could have been able to get tower. They should have been able to get tower. They should have walked towards dragon. Now the dragon is like a secondary goal because if they commit to taking both the bottom lane tower and the dragon, then them walking back to the map after the play with them being immediately on the defense and defending mid because WE would already be back on the map and already be looking to pressure the next objective, which would be mid lane tower. They didn't get that option because of this shit. He even had shield, so he actually could have tanked another tower shot as well. Like the second, I said two tower shots, I meant three. So that's just bad. But even though I heavily criticized that one point, that was still very good from Flash Wolves to keep focused on that play. That they were able to get two kills on the bottom side of the map based off just Ari rotating and Shen ulti. But now if you're both teams, if you look at this, bottom lane is still the focus from Flash Wolves. Bottom lane or Dragon side, the Dragon as well. So Kog'Maw is still tied to this tower, as well as Ben. So Flash Wolves can look towards the play. They won't have Shen ulti for it unless if they wait a long time to look to get it. So Kog'Maw still might be continued to like deny. He might be denied of CS continuously from this point. They're already getting threatened once again, right? So this is not a good thing for Mystic. Unless if not, oh, get out of my house. All right. Yeah, I don't think nah, CA can walk out of this. MMD just wants to do a little bit of damage. Okay, so they get Dragon. They get blue buff. They go for Dragon. This is good focus coming out of Flash Wolves. You can tell that, yeah, this is a team that had the ability to beat an SKT because they are a smart team. They are a confident team when even, but when they are ahead, you've like my criticisms have been through the fact that they don't take risks. Thankfully for them, they're going up against a team in the LPL well known for taking way too many damn risks, which is positive and negative. You know, there are a lot of positives and negatives to it. And yeah, you can see immediately, and Mystic's just gonna walk away from the tower. So this is the trade-off from WE. Um, they're defending the turret like it, their life depends on it, and because of this constant pressure, whoo, we didn't red trinket the right spot. Shen TP could happen at any moment, but Shen might not do that because he knows that top lane, his ass is getting pushed in right now. But he had that option. But yeah, just going back to the point I was about to make, the trade-off here is that Mystic is losing out in quite a bit of CS. He's still ahead, but because he was so far ahead earlier on against Betty, Betty was able to catch up just based off that continuous pressure. Which, I guess, if you're WE, is like, that's not that bad. Like, thinking about it, we should have lost so much CS, but because I'm such a good player, because we're such a good bottom lane, didn't work out that way. So yeah, the trade-off is now that the top lane 957 is able to get that much pressure in for himself. And yes, Tiamat should be going towards the Titanic. I wonder if the Ruby Crystal and Longsword is going to be going straight towards Titanic, or if he's just going to be like, nah, actually, just kidding. Hold on to the Tiamat, go towards the Black Cleaver. A lot of people have done that, and it's still good, of course. Like Black Cleaver has always been a good item. I don't know how New Patch is, but just kidding about New Patch. What are you doing, Mystic? Why the fuck you there? I'm not gonna replay it because we all know why that happened. Um, there's not a lot of vision to catch Tom Kench in rotation. Like, where did he? You know, I'm gonna replay just to find out where he ultied from. Ah, I was wondering. I don't see them on the map. Yeah, he did it like right near red buff. So of course Mystic's not gonna get that vision. You just have to expect that that play is always available. So the only um, play for Mystic to do, like the response that he could have had, like recognizing that that's a play that's available, is just to hold on, play safely until Galio arrives. You can go up to that wave if you have flash. I think it's worthwhile because they make that play, you get out, and your like WE has the option to punish off of two people going bot lane with Ashe, but he didn't have flash, so that was just gonna be a guaranteed death. So WE have drawn the lines in the sand. They'll give up a lot on the bottom side of the map, but they're looking to double down on Kled's strength along with Fizz's strength. And Fizz right now he's 0-0-0. I mean, there's a lot of people 0-0-0. That this game, even though it's been going on for 12 minutes, very slow. That's the Flash Wolf special. But yeah, Fizz has been farming up incredibly well. He has himself the Merc boots, which you already saw the trade. That's Maple now being a lot less secure in the matchup because you can go in, reduce a lot of the damage, well, just a bit of the damage based off the magic resist, but also reduce the CC with the tenacity that he has in that specific matchup. Can also reduce the tenacity, of course, of the taunt, the stun coming out of Ashe. So I agree with the purchase of the Merc Treads. He's going to be going towards the Proto Belt and then the Lich Bane. And that's essentially when Xie is going to be going wild, right? That's all you really need if you're a Fizz to go towards Proto Belt and Lich Bane. Usually you'll see them not even going towards the second tier boots because that power spike, even just going Proto Belt with Sheen, is good enough for you to just look and hunt for a fight and just put yourself on side lane. But this time around, the adaptation, what he's it was that he expended the money on the boots instead. So I mean, that's whatever. I liked it. Okay, so yeah, it is the Tiamat into Black Cleaver, which is smart because he's going up against Shen, who will be going straight Sunfire. He's going to be going into Spirit Visage next because he's going into mixed damage of Kog'Maw, Galio percentage damage, and of course the Fizz. So he definitely wants Spirit Visage, but he picked the Sunfire cape for the lane. So just going for the Shred earlier on is going to be great for Kled. So he's just going to try and focus on the CS. He's not even skirmishing into MMD up until he gets to that point. Ah. Okay, just kidding. That motherfucker wants to get in. Good protection. Even at it, got out of there. Oh, Ben is not dead. I wouldn't say he's dead. Good pressure on Mystic and Ben. Yeah, this is a good fight. Whoo, Mystic. I mean, Condi. Condi? Oh, sad face. Oh, they're going for him. Condi! Is it the Gadi? No, you know what? I'll never say that again. That actually just doesn't make sense. But Condi is a god. Okay, just kidding. I didn't say any of that. I didn't even mean it. Karsa. Church of Karsa, everybody. This is the sickest fight out of Flash Roll. So, like, we can replay it. I think the replay will happen anyway, so I won't press that button just yet. WE went for the fight. I still would have wanted Kled to. That's a TP. That's a Fizz TP. Oh, that's a dead Karsa. Just embrace it, Karsa. Even if you missed it. Even if you missed the Proto Belt, just embrace the death. Just embrace it. Okay. Now, hopefully, there's not another skirmish, because I still do want to talk about that fight. WE started the fight before Black Cleaver was even finished. I think that Kled should have still stuck to it, but that was a call made because they thought there was a wide open on Ashe. Sword Art played it very well, waited for the charge to finish so he can gobble him up and get out of there. Which, by the way, I actually didn't agree with the Shen ulti, but the fact that he was able to follow up immediately and be in position for the fight. So that was just, for me, the repositioning is good enough, even though I didn't like the idea of the protection. If MMD used the ulti for protection, disagree. If he used it to be in position for the follow-up on the fight, it was really good because his taunt was solid and the rest of the collapse coming in from flash rolls made it easy. So here it comes. Karsa is going to have to blow his jump. He's going to do it at some point, so I'm just going to stop focusing on him. But this is a really good disengage and re-engage onto Ben. Now Ben was not going to die, he's going to back away entirely. But if you look at how 957 and the rest of WE plays it, they go straight into Maple, and Maple's just going to get the fuck out of there, right? And in all of this, Kog'Maw's down, Galio's down, and then the Flash Wolves repositioned with Ari being able to join the rest of his team. Sure, she's dead, but she repositioned so her dead body can be in front of the rest of her friends. So that was a buff for her friends. And now they just decided, yeah, get an angle on that one, Brent. We didn't want to see any reasonable angle. We wanted that camera shot. So yeah, Flash Roll was cleaned up. It was just a good response. It was a good defense. It was a good everything. Just to check the positioning. Okay. WE and Flash Rolls decided to put their mid laners on side waves. They didn't, of course, because of the replay. We don't get to see who initiated that, but you would have to assume that it would be CA. I actually wonder. I wonder about that. Because Xie does not have Sheen. He's actually he's going towards the Zhonya's before he gets his components for Lich Bane. And Kog'Maw, yeah, sure he's mid, so he's safer. But now Maple is able, yeah, he's able to do shit like this, right? Where he's able to chase you down. He has Morello's, he has the safety of the Negatron cloak. Is Xie not dead? Nah, Xie is not dead. Like Xie is definitely not dead. Yeah, Xie is well enough, well and truly alive. Unfortunate. But just to hit the point, Maple, he can do that in the bottom side of the map. He can enable plays while safely CSing and safely farming and just utilize his ulti to get out of any sticky spots. Shay doesn't do nearly enough damage to kill him off the bat like immediately. So he's going to be like comfortable in that. And the major point of Flash Roll's playmaking is going to be an Ashe who is now in the mid lane with Tom Kench. So Tom Kench is going to be able to create plays instantaneously on Kled or Fizz just because he has ulti whenever he wants to, and he's going to base his base of operation is going to be in the mid lane, so he has full access, kind of like the Twisted Fate mid lane benefit. You don't want Twisted Fate top lane, you don't want him in bottom lane. Put him in the mid lane, and you have the most access across the map. And then of course Ashe, even though she might not be able to get the Kog'Maw freely because he's safe mid, they can choose to dive and she can just choose to walk with Kha'Zix into enemy jungle and then just look for plays, right? So the positioning is immediately in favor of Flash Wolves, while WE, this is a safety maneuver if they chose to put these lanes. That Kog'Maw is now much safer than he would be in the bottom lane with Galio. And Galio can now place more defensive wards across with Condi. So there are clear strengths here for both teams, but Flash Wolves are the ones who are on the attack. They're putting Shen bot. That means that they really do want vision towards the Baron side. Now it's 20 minutes into the game. Kog'Maw can burn it. Kled can do quite a bit of damage. So their worry, I suppose, is that it could be a point of defense, but I do not believe that Flash Wolves are getting full vision on Baron for the sake of being able to do it. Because then, of course, they just wouldn't be able to. WE would just send two members and then stop them. Does too much damage to them. That could be. They could pivot that pressure towards top lane turret. Because that's one outer turret that's up and available that needs to go down if you're Flash Wolves. It needs to go down because they have this pressure. They don't want to alleviate that pressure. WE is a good turtling team, and their turtling will result into a mid lane turret being fairly safe. So they have to be able to take mid top lane turret. What that means is that Betty, push up this wave, Kha'Zix is actually bot lane right now. So just to map the pathing for Kha'Zix and what it should be, Kha'Zix takes Raptors, Kha'Zix goes top. There's nothing top lane in terms of the camps, but he should 100% look to then pressure top lane turret. That is the easiest, freest gold you can get. Right now, Ari is actually deciding to move away from top lane to go mid. I do not agree with that. I think that looking to pressure this tower without having full top lane control towards like the red side jungle is hard. It is very difficult. Okay. And WE push him away. See, I think that from Flash Wolves, that would have been 10 times easier had they been able to move into the red side jungle of WE. But they were not able to do that. If they would have actually had to fully commit to a fight had they went into the red side jungle of WE. They need that top lane turret down. It is very easy for them to do it. They just haven't. Now actually their priorities have to change because of how much time they wasted to now contesting towards the Earth Dragon. W is in this position. W should not be in this position. They're in a deficit in this game. But because they chose the proper defensive choices, they now have full control of Dragon just by staying still, and Flash was not taking advantage of their lead. W doesn't have to actually start this. They can actually hold this game on. So just to talk about what current win condition is, and I don't mean win the game, but have a chance of winning the game. WE still defensive. Their chances at winning this game is by holding on. They don't want to, even though they have full control of this dragon, they don't want to start it because then that Flash Wolves will say, okay, this is our fight that we want to be able to take. So they're denying them that option while playing with Flash Wolves and saying, Flash Wolves, you need to come towards us because you don't want us to start dragon. But we won't start dragon. But okay, there we go. They're actually going towards it. They have enough vision. There is actually a ward that they don't see. This ward's actually really damning. Oh, Jesus. Goodbye, Mystic. Hello, Mystic. Oh, shit. Good taunt. Good positioning from W. They can actually move away from this entirely. Enchanted Crystal Arrow is down. Okay, they're choosing the back way. So, here's the thing about that fight. I would say that is a win for WE because, like, and the reason you would think that is, okay, Flash Wolves, they had a great ward. They were able to see it. That's good on them. That they were able to choose that fight. They got nobody. Enchanted Crystal Arrow is down. MMD's ulti is now down. They can go back into their position and take this dragon, but ultimately, what does that mean for Flash Wolves? How can they utilize this dragon in pushing for the next objective for them? Because they need to start to open up the map, right? Thankfully, that being said, the gods have given them a response. Had that been any other dragon, maybe not Infernal, had that been any other dragon except for perhaps Infernal. In fact, no, fuck it. Even if it was Infernal, then WE would have been in a position, and I'm going to stop this here because it looks like a fight's going to happen. Oh, you even get the lights. You get the action on your screen. Okay? Had that been any other dragon, Flash Wolves would have still been fucked. Flash Wolves would have wasted, in my opinion, efficient time where they could be opening up the map, and they would reset position, right? They would reset position on the map, and their question would be, what objective do we have to go towards? They didn't choose the right answer in the last like 5 or so minutes of going topside for that tower. That option was not there for them. So they have to be faced with the same decisions. Now, if they go back towards the top lane tower and take it, then you know what? They win because they got the Earth Dragon, they got the top lane tower. It took a little bit more time, but it's not like WE is doing anything, right? They're actually just playing full defense, hoping that you're not um, committing full resources to the right play. Um, but it's another Earth Dragon. And the fact that they're able to get this actually, or at least now they can look to focus towards the Earth Dragon. They don't have to take any undue risks to go towards the top lane turret. They don't have to take any undue risks towards invading enemy jungle. They can actually just say, okay, we'll go towards the neutral objective that we have full control of that's very much near close to our jungle. We don't have to take any risk. We are just naturally stronger as a team. get a second Earth Dragon, and then we can start playing the Baron game immediately. Now, eventually, that top lane turret's gonna go down. Even if it doesn't, they can still have the threat of rushing. So let's just start it. The Dragon Gods definitely helped them out. So WE now, in the time in which, let's just double check, because I do believe, I wonder where, because immediately they respond with Dragon going down. Yep, the play happening. Ari's going top lane. Ashe and Tom Kench are sticking mid, but Tom Kench is backing. Karsa's likely backing. He doesn't have any mana. WE know this. They send mid. They were already going mid, and it wasn't. It was initially like, okay, maybe it's defense. No, it's going straight offense. People are starting to reset, and Ari is top lane. Good response from WE. And by the way, this is me being hypercritical of flash rolls because flash rolls are like my. I've said this about flash rolls before. I think that they are they have the ability to be like the second, like the, I would say second best team. Hell, even the best team. The problem with them is that they look towards the perfect play, and their early games are incredible, but then like you start to they really don't take risks. And I'm not talking about like taking LPL risks. I'm just saying if you have vision on Baron and if it comes to a 50-50, look to start Baron and then turn for a fight. Use the TP advantage on MMD. I don't think MMD has used any incredible TP at all, and that's just not him. They have other top laners. It was the same issue then. So yeah, and then yeah, they get dragged into long, ridiculous games. So that's just a sad face on that one. And all of my, crying, and it happens. So the fact that Flash Wolves take this, already had the dragon. Sure, they lost mid lane, so that hurts a little bit more. They are still in a good enough advantage. Now that waves gets pushed in. Now Sword Art and Karsa can move into this jungle with each other. Utilize the wards that they are giving themselves. I'm actually looking towards Sword Art. I wonder what he looks to build because he went straight towards the ruby, like the red, the upgraded sightstone. Some people have just kind of they haven't gone towards the full Targon's shielding item for the supports. They've gone towards the hybrid of the blue sightstone, the one that's incomplete, and the gold item. So it's essentially like it's kind of slot efficient. Oh, Sword Art's getting light up. And now this is just really fucking messy from Flash Wolves. It might turn into a good engage from Slash Rolls, but that was not a good start. Okay, now let's talk about why that was bad. I've already gone through 48 minutes of your guys' time. Why not spend another 48 minutes on this exact 2-second replay? It's not a particularly like it's not a complex one, right? It's not a complex point at all. Look at where Kha'Zix is, look at where Sword Art is. Earlier on I said that they should be moving into this jungle together. And this is not even point about jungle. Right now, Sword Art is moving up. This wave is being pushed up. Ari is in the top side of the map. She just took blue. She's going to be going top lane to push out those two waves. And sure, she's not going to be able to beat out 957, but that's not her goal. She's going to be able to get out if she wants to, and she's going to be able to push that wave and like kite regardless. So she has the ability to push that wave, and Kled, if he looks to contest, will get collapsed on. So, I mean, with Tom Kench as well. So, 957, back away. Meanwhile, Ari pushes in that wave. Kha'Zix come in together. Ashe will push mid. She's taking Raptors, I believe. She pushes mid. That's the right play. They need patience. Not Sword Art going for this ward. It's like one of those two. It's a two-way street. Sword Art, if he wants to take the ward, he should be patient and wait for Kha'Zix, or Kha'Zix should just be uh, a little bit faster and moving with Sword Art to make this a little easier for them. So now they just collapse for a fight. Immediately Shen ulti comes through. He's not even he hasn't even walked towards the lane yet. So Shen hasn't. He's just like coming fresh out of base. He's like, all right, I need they need me. and then it comes like literally nothing happens from it. So Xie takes immediate control back in mid lane, right? And then top lane, Wave starts to get pushed in on, and that was what Ari was going to be moving towards anyways. So this was another key moment where Flash Wolves could have taken this game and blown it wide open. That could have been the moment where they would have moved into that red side jungle and blasted WE. WE should have lost this. I mean, I keep going further and further. That Nexus should have been exploded, should have blown up in their faces 2 minutes ago. No, no, that was just another moment where Flash Rolls dropped a play, ironically by making a play. So we go on to the next point. I mean, I'm not. Okay, so let's just look at the lane assignments here. Play top, Fizz bot, Fizz has Sheen. So Fizz was able to finish up Bozonia's Proto Belt, and now has Sheen Lich main component, just Sheen, and is going to be able to go towards it. Right now, he is sitting on the Ring and Corruption Potion. You would expect that to be sold so he can get a little bit more items under his belt, because all he needs is one Control Ward and to be able to get the Blasting Wand, right, for Lich main, so he can actually be a little bit stronger, just a tad bit more. He didn't do that now. He probably doesn't have the gold for it. He's a pretty poor man. He's doing well in CS, just low kill game for him. So that's just natural. And Abyssal and Morellos for Maple. Pretty defensive build, so he's not going to be the primary force like the DPS source for his team. If he is, it's going to be based off of him just blowing up Mystic, right? But he's not going to be able to deal with Xie. If he gets a pick on Xie, it's going to be with someone else on his team. So he's going to be primary playmaker, just not going to be able to support his own plays. Unless once again, like if it's based off of a flank team fight, because his flank in the last team fight towards Dragon was really good. His flanks this game have been solid, so Mystic has real reasons to be afraid of Maple here. Okay, all right. Mhm. Can I talk about how that's so disrespectful? And I don't mean like, oh, public apology kind of thing. But Flash Wolves, maybe Flash Wolves should be the one publicly apologizing. Look at how low this tower is. Look how far up Mystic currently is playing. I mean, he has QSS, so he's not afraid of getting ultied right here for the individual matchup. But just take a look. That Mystic is the sole defender of the mid lane. He has Runans, sure. But this should have been an easy play for Flash Wolves to look to get this turret. They might be able to now focus towards it for the next 2 minutes. But it's a game that's gone on to 30 minutes, and it definitely should not have. So this wave's not a cannon minion. Cannon wave, so WE should be able to deal with it. But you look to the composition even, no wave clear. Their only wave clear is Kog'Maw who walks up to the wave with Runans. Dive that shit. But they're just not in a position to do it. So I've been literally been railing on the same point for much longer than 40 minutes. Let's see. It's almost an hour. It's 53 minutes, everybody. Good lord. Good god. This game. Okay. Next dragon's Earth Dragon. So that's the one we've been talking about for a little bit now. Flash Rolls want this as priority because they haven't been pushing the map. They actually just have not been looking to do that for quite some time. That mid lane outer has been up for too long. They get this Earth Dragon. Suddenly they can play the Baron game a lot more decisively. Especially with Kha'Zix, who's evolved Q. That's just the game that he wants to play. Condi, though, get that shit. Oh, oh, nah. He's like, this is suicidal. I won't do that. Okay, so great from Flash Wolves. Suddenly, Flash Wolves, I mean, they can. It's gonna be easier for them to now focus on towards the outer turret mid, simply because once they gain control of Baron, just the Baron River, for let's say 30 seconds. Once they completely cleared it up, WE will be looking to get vision through their own red side jungle, right? So they'll come in deep through their own red side jungle to just be able to place wards. But that will, like, just based off of that positioning alone, that leaves up time for Flash Wolves to have position to walk up mid um, and threaten Kog'Maw off tower. Kog'Maw won't die because he has QSS, and I'm pretty sure he has Flash. No, he doesn't have Flash heal, so that's still possible that you can kill Kog'Maw. But with how low that turret is, Flash Wolves can definitely deke WE on that play just from having two Earth Dragons and having full control of Baron River. That's two people in bottom lane. Xie 957, this is the play that 957 had to deal with when he was going up against RNG. Let Me and Xiaohu made this play. If you have two split pushers, sometimes the better play is to pin him up against the Shen, because Shen won't be able to deal with this pressure. I mean, he won't die, but he definitely will not be able to hold the structures for himself. So it's good adaptation coming out of WE. They faced against it in LPL finals. This time around they're responding well against it. I mean, responding well with it. Now, RNG, when they had that advantage, they kept pressuring the same play. WE need to split off of it. They can't continuously use Xie and 957 in that matter because Flash Wolves have gained full control of Baron River, which is what we've said is very impactful. What I will see, what should happen here, is Flash Wolves should continue to sit in the side, just wait there. People have to send members to go towards the Baron to ward it because it's just been dewarded for far too long. Karsa needs to sit there. You shouldn't be mid, buddy. They might be able to get it anyways because, no, this is just so stupid. Just sit in Baron River. Just sit there. Threaten. You have two Earth Dragons. I'm not saying to start, to do Baron. I'm just saying force them to respect you to do Baron. Ah, shit. Betty's in a pretty good okay. He's in an okay position. This is, oh, just kidding. Get the fuck out of there, Betty. So 1-for-nothing trade. 957 has to get out of there. He has to back. She has to back. So the only thing WE gains, which is pretty good, is full clear on Baron side um, of wards, right? So you can see where I'm getting frustrated again from watching Flash Wolves play this game. Flash Wolves, holy shit! All right, now they're going in, but this is one man on a mission. Oh, is this turning into a Baron 50-50? No, no, no. Sword Art is going to die. Sword Art is dead. Maple, Karsa, MMD, they're gonna it's the triangle attack where they look to steal Baron. Yes, he is under level in Kandi. And is execution damage in 957 is there in favor? Yeah, Sheen on Fizz should be able to do it. So they should have this Baron, even if it turns into a 50-50. There we go. They bursted it well. Ooh, they're pretty low. Get out of there. Escape. Maple won't be able to kill it. Maple all-ins. Then he's dead. Ah, Garza's dead. There we go. So it was smart for W to take no more risks and walk away, because if Flash Wolves look to chase them, then much like Karsa's fate, the rest of them would have perished. So WE have definitely just taken control of this game. They didn't have the control. They didn't, I mean, deserve is, everyone will have their own definition of who deserves what here. In my opinion here, WE, based on the early mistakes, probably didn't deserve to win this game or deserve for this Baron to happen. But because of Flash Wolves and how they dropped multiple plays based on certain decisions on where they wanted to pressure the map, yeah, they're starting to feel it. Alright, full 5 members looking to go bot. It's Baron too. It's a pretty big wave. There's Flash Wolves. I don't think Flash Wolves has any reliable way of clearing it. They have Runans and they have REQ. And it can do well, kinda. A good way to create pressure. But 957 will die. Just respect. Just get. Oh. Oh shit. Just kidding. Okay. All right, I guess they just won the game. It just so um but yeah, Maple and Betty could have threatened the backline minions. There were a lot of backline minions, so they could actually like could clear that up. But what WE did was like, okay, we're pushing in to create space for Mystic, and the rest of y'all just deal damage to that tower. Just kidding. We're in a good position. Let's fight this. Now the dog, Mr. Dog, look at Mystic, the cutest motherfucker alive, flashing that LPL banner. W win this game. It was just legitimately, the difference was just all in the decisiveness. W was far more decisive. Flash Wolves were very much walking back and forth, indecisive with their calls, and even when they were decisive, were just outright making poor ones. That mid lane outer turret should not have been alive for that long. That top lane outer turret should not have been alive for that long. Their bottom lane dragon fight was very well thought out, was very well done. So that's something that they can look towards and say, hey, you know what? We are smarter as a team. We chose the right fights, but we definitely, from that point forward, with the lead that we had acquired, sucked a lot of dick. I will end that with that note. Thank you, everybody, and good night.